you to this very special Day of Thanks edition of Hacking the Infinity Matrix, where today we are broaching another deep topic of setting your manifesting skill free with habits of the masters. You know, for centuries, we've admired the phenomenal work of great inventors, artists and poets, world leaders and thought leaders alike. Throughout history, they have paved the way for extraordinary change as they have toppled evil, righted wrongs, all while building bridges of hope and love. They have stood tall against giants and ne'er waver against the onslaught of armies of hate and despair. All of this as onlookers stand passively by, staring in awe as we wonder, how do they do it? This week, we delve deeper into the nuts and bolts of what it really takes to enhance our behaviors in order to become true creators, like those that we admire so greatly. In the program today, we're excited to continue this conversation where we've left off in previous shows and talk about the discovery and understanding of habits, techniques, and mindsets that distinguish the greats from the goods and the goods from the groans. This is why we created Saturdays Down the Rabbit Hole. It's an open discussion calls where you can ask questions and dig deeper with us and discover new ways, new ideas for personal betterment. And that's should be scrolling across the bottom of the screen as hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/rabbit hole. And you can go there to register. It's a free call. It's a lot of fun. But now I want to take a moment and explain why this episode is so important. And I have to say this very, very seriously. Because if everything stays the same and everyone continues on this blue pill path of disempowerment, we're going to find out exactly what it's like to live someone else's story, build someone else's dreams, and waste away in an unfulfilled, empty husk of a reality. And obviously, we don't want this for anyone, especially you. Your action to be here now proves you are serious about manifesting a new, better reality for yourself. You may have already done so, but want to make it even better. Or you're at a frustration point because it hasn't gone according to plan and want to make it better. And regardless, most people will miss the mark with their manifesting skills and quickly become discouraged. This must change, and it must change today.
Couldn't agree anymore, Ross. Hey, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you in the US of A. Welcome to episode 60 of Hacking the Infinity Matrix, setting your manifestation skills free with habits of the masters. As Ross has said, this is going to be a really, really great treat for you today. For those of you that are taking your time out of your holiday or your time out to come in and join us here today. Let's start first by finding out where everyone is tuning in from. I noticed a couple of people have already entered in, but go ahead. If you're listening in from the US, don't tell us your state. Tell us your license plate slogan. All right. Let's try something fun and different there so we can kind of have some variety and get to know a little bit more about where you're from. Ross, I know yours is Evergreen State, right?
Well, right now it's called the half tree, half water state.
Yeah, we're the all water province right now. Yeah,
we're all water now. Yeah, exactly.
So go ahead and let's have some creative fun here. And if you're watching from somewhere other than the U.S. and you do have a license plate slogan, go ahead and tell us in the comments what that is, just so we can kind of see some variety. Just have some fun with it. So we got first in flight. Oh, okay, great. Thanks,
oh,
Nancy.
Nice. Okay.
And yeah, so if you're outside of the States, then just throw that in there as well, so we can kind of see what slogans are in vehicles around the world. I think this should be a little bit of fun to watch that as it comes through.
Yeah. Sure.
If this is your first time on the stream with us, We thank you for joining us, and would like to properly greet you when the stream is done. So if you could just go ahead and drop a hashtag first time in the chat so we can know who you are and come back around when we're done to give you a proper greeting. Ross and I come back and look at all the comments and do as best as we can to respond to them in as timely manner as possible. Sometimes there's so much.
And when you put hashtag first time, it actually sends us a message that there's a first timer that has jumped on, so we can definitely get to you. And also, if you're and if you're watching this at a later time, use hashtag replay. So then you don't get buried in all the comments.
Yeah, and if you're if you're doing the replay like Ross said, and if you're a regular, some of you already get in the habit of doing hashtag hooked on hacking, right? And I thought I just showed that. Is it showing? There it is. Okay, good. It took a while for it to show for me. All right, so let's jump in and set the tone for the content today. Let me ask you a question. If the rules were set up in your favor, so you couldn't fail in one of these 6 areas of life, what would you want to manifest? Okay, think about it. In your relationships, in your mental and physical health, in your career and money, in your physical environment, your fun and recreation activities, and your personal and spiritual expression of your authentic self. And remember, self for us is spiritually evolving life force. I mean, if the sky was the limit and all the rules were stacked in your favor, think about it just for a little bit. In fact, I'd like to ask your unconscious mind to deeply consider this question long after this live stream is done. Just let it linger so you can fully think of the possibilities. And during the stream today, our goal and our intention is to give you some deeper insights as to how you actually manifest the reality you experience, and then hand you a set of habits that you can actively look at and work on and test just how much of a manifester you truly are. This stream is packed with some really life-changing content, so make sure you stick around.
Yeah, I told you this is going to be good. So how many people actually believe in the idea that the way you think has some effect on your life? How many people woke up this morning and consciously created the future, or for that matter, just their day? Do you know that the biggest reason why people don't? Because most people don't believe it can be done. That's the big secret. Most people don't really believe they can create their own reality. Most don't truly believe they are the divine definition of a God. According to neuroscience, your brain is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of your existence that records the trends of your past. So if you believe this, then does your environment control your thinking, or does your thinking control your environment?
Yeah, it's the ultimate PVR machine, right?
Exactly. Are you so immersed in habits and rituals that autopilot is your primary means of functioning throughout the day? Have you ever thought about brushing your teeth or combing your hair using the other hand? Have you ever said, I'm going to drive a different way to work? Just because. Change things up a bit. Or do the programs completely run your life? We see the same people pushing the same emotional buttons, running the exact same programs, then hurrying up to wake up each morning and do it all over again. Well, that's not how the masters have done it. They exercise their brains. They look at the brain like a weightlifter looks at their muscles. Use them Change it up to confuse the muscle memory. Change them and then give them the rest they need. Challenge them. Challenge them. Challenge your mind. Challenge your muscles. That's where growth comes from. Most people, on the other hand, are thinking the same thoughts, performing the same actions that are creating the same experiences. And all of this produces the same emotions. But what they really want is something to change in their life. It's like eating only vanilla ice cream and expecting it to taste different every day. It's not going to happen. You need to step out and buy some Rocky Road or Chunky Monkey. That's a Ben & Jerry's. It's actually one of my favorites. But when you do this, then you'll experience a new sensation. Then your brain will love you for it. Because as the new environment turns on different circuits in your brain, you begin to think equal to this new environment. And expansion begins. As you see new people and go to new places and do different things, the new environment's stimulation is turning on different circuits in your brain and causing you to think equal to that new environment. What the masters do is to eliminate any of the lying to themselves and challenge their thought process. They understand that what they're thinking is equal to everything that they know, and they would just keep creating more of the same. So to truly change is to think greater than your environment. And every great person in history knew this. And those in present day know this, from inventors to artists and to poets. They all have a vision. They couldn't see it. They couldn't smell it, taste it, or feel it, but it was alive. It's alive in their mind. So alive. They began to live as if this reality was actually happening now. They believed in a future that they can't see or experience with their senses, yet they thought about it enough times in their mind that the brain is literally changing to look like the event has already happened. Have you ever heard them say Steve Jobs lived in an alternate reality? He was known for this. It was dubbed his reality distortion field. And I'll tell you, it wasn't distorted to him. It was only distorted to those who were on the outside and unfamiliar. They're the ones who saw the distortion. To Jobs, everything was normal, business as usual. Let's go. And that new reality that he created just from his mind changed the world. So, can we agree that if you wanted to create a new personal reality for yourself, I mean really create a new reality, then on a fundamental level, you would have to change the thoughts that you are thinking, the behaviors and habits that you've operated with for so long, and along with them, the emotions that you've attached to those said behaviors and habits, all while understanding that those emotions are the fuel for communicating to the infinity matrix. They must change because they've become part of your life's identity. And if they remain the same, then ultimately so were your reality, because you keep sending out the same emotions, the same energy, the same thoughts over and over again, going, how come this isn't changing? So here's the rub. Most people try to create a new personal reality, but as the same personality, thinking the same thoughts, performing the same actions, and essentially living by the same experiences that produce the same emotions. And it just never seems to work. Because for this to work, we have to become someone else, to disrupt the thoughts, the actions, the behaviors, and by all means, the emotions. We have to cause your brain to fire in new ways and interrupt the current fire and wire neurological sequences that it's accustomed to. This is what the masters knew. And if you keep repeating the new states of mind and body over and over again, your brain begins to automatically fire in the new sequence, in the new patterns, with the new neurological combinations. And whenever you make your brain work in a certain way, that's called mind. Changing your mind then is to make the brain work, and new sequences and new patterns and new combinations to begin to make the brain work differently. And the one ingredient that allows us to do that is knowledge and information. Like you gleaning, like what you're doing, you're gleaning information off of this video right now. Because every time you learn something new, you make a new connection in your brain. And that's what we call learning. Remembering is maintaining or sustaining those connections. So now every time you have a thought, you make a chemical. And if you have a great thought, one unlimited thought or a joyful thought, you turn on a set of circuits in your brain that fires off in a specific sequence. And that produces a level of mind that turns on another part of the brain that makes a chemical for you to begin and feel exactly the way you were when you're thinking that. And in turn, know if you have a negative thought or an unhappy thought or a disparaging thought, you turn on different sets of circuits in a different combination, in a different sequence, in a different pattern that produces a different level of mind. The brain then begins to make a different batch of chemicals and signals for the body, and you feel exactly the way you were thinking when you were negative or unhappy or unworthy. So the moment you begin to feel that way, you think, well, because the brain is a constant communication with your body, you begin to think the way you feel, which makes you even more chemicals about that feel. And then you think that way and start feeling that way. And you feel that way because that's the way you think. And if you think the way you feel, you can imagine this happening for years and years and years, decades and decades. I can give you 100, 1,000 examples. So the repetitiveness of this cycle over time creates a perpetual loop, a state of being that when your mind and body are working together and your thoughts and feelings are aligned to a single definition of a positive or negative concept. So keeping in mind that thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body. And as people get caught in that loop of thinking and feeling, over time, they condition their body to memorize an expected emotion. If you think of that feeling when you first met your significant other, that's a sequence. That feeling's always going to be the same. And when the conscious mind and the body knows what is expected of the other, that's called a habit. Where 90% of your reactions to your environment has become a set of memorized behaviors and emotional reactions. Let me give you an example. Some of you might be familiar with this. This is my rubber band example. No, this is my famous rubber band example. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so this rubber band represents your subconscious mind. Okay. This is the limit. This is as far as it's expanded. This is 95. This is the 95% of conditioned reactions. So now I'm going to exert my 5% of my conscious mind to expand. Okay. So now I'm thinking, expand. I'm thinking. And for years, the subconscious mind says, yeah, this is good, but all I've got to do is just wait until your conscious mind forgets that it's trying to excise change on me, and I'm going to pull you right back. Oh, no, I'm going back. Think, expand. Oh, I forgot to think about it again. Okay, this is why diets fail. I'm going to consciously try and lose weight for the next month. Lose weight. Ooh, ice cream? That's how it works. The subconscious mind is most of the time in control. So what we are trying to, or wanting to, or have been doing for the last year with everyone is to change that subconscious mind, to recondition them and let the conscious and the subconscious become a unified mind. And so now we're back to choices. You can learn and change the state of pain, suffering, which tends to be the general human condition. That's choice one. Or you can learn and change like the masters in the state of joy, inspiration, and expansion. Those are your choices, because you are the creator of your physical reality. All it takes is an equal portion of emotional energy and allowing yourself to know if you can simply feel as if you already have or have achieved the desired outcome that you're imagining. The infinity matrix will bring you that outcome that will allow you to feel the same way. That's how it works. Whether it is exactly what you have imagined or it doesn't matter. Understanding that having the emotion will attract whatever needs to be there, as long as you do not judge what or how this is happening. What is happening is what should be happening. So be grateful always.
Yeah, I've in my 40 years of studying how we can manifest change in our lives, I found that the surest way to improve your effectiveness in creating the reality you want, which Ross kind of tapped on there, is to generate. If you want to, create the reality you want, if you want to generate income you desire, if you want to nurture the quality of relationships you yearn for, you have to master the training of your unconscious mind to develop certain habits.
Exactly.
Okay, because somewhere along the line, your unconscious mind developed the habits you currently have to get the results you currently get, to manifest the things you currently manifest. Okay. So it's doable. It perhaps for most people listening, it wasn't an intentional thought process that they were going to do this with direction and clarity on what that is. And again, understand that you are not taught this in life. Right? You there's not a class in school. There's no post-secondary thing. There's in the last, I would say 60, 70 years, people have come out and taught in different personal development, self-growth, spiritual growth practices, more and more of these tools, right? But I found that even many of those self-proclaimed experts, in my opinion, will give you just pieces of the puzzles, but not the whole thing.
Exactly.
Our goal has always been to give you all the different perspectives so that it's not a this or that model. It's a this and that and that and that and that. And hey, guess what? I have choice. So what I've done is I've narrowed it down to 15 of the most powerful, at least what I believe, are the most powerful and essential habits for manifesting anything you want. They're no particular order. And I do know that the more of them that you can establish collectively, the more you'll be creating miracle type experiences on a regular basis. Okay. We'll post the complete list for our members in our private group. So if you want a visual recap of these habits, head over to, I'll put it in the chat, facebook.com/The Infinity Matrix is our private group. And you can log in there.
Oh, there's I think there's a group there. It's .com/groups. Or /
I don't know if we
infinity
need to put groups. Can you double check that? I didn't think we had to put groups. Do we?
That's how I've always done it. So I don't have.
Do you mind testing that in the meantime while we go here?
Go ahead.
Yeah, and if so, then it's just /groups /The Infinity Matrix. So one or the other. And then when you get there, answer the 3 questions to get instant access into the private group. If you don't answer the questions, then the system will boot you out and you won't get in right away. So just answer them. It's really just so that we make sure we reduce any of the quote unquote robots that come and try to infiltrate and spam our group. So that helps protect us. It helps protect you from making sure you get great content consistently there. So here we go. Number 1, and again, no particular order. Number 1 habit.
Before you go on, you have to have the groups there.
Oh, so it does need to be groups in there? Okay.
Facebook.com/groups, plural, / The Infinity Matrix.
All right, let me just add that in the chat here then so people can just click easily. Groups / The Infinity Matrix.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, number 1, you need to have the ability to instantly snap into a successful mindset. To quickly be in the eye of the storm, which we've talked about in many, many previous streams. Okay. That is, I've noticed that as a fairly consistent skill and ability and habit that successful manifestors have, and they do it consistently. Okay. Number 2, always seek to discover, design, and unlock what you're most passionate about in life. And this one has massive manifestation influence on the matrix. Okay, we are always talking about find what you're passionate about, do as much as you can until you can't do it anymore, and then go to the next thing you're passionate about. Right? And then the number 3 is quickly get directly to the cause of your problems and not get stuck on the effects. So many people get caught up on the effects. So what you need to do is use your creativity and turn those problems into solutions easily. Get into the habit of figuring out how to do that. Okay? Search for different ways, try different things, test. Again, it's really what we do on these streams is we're giving you, mini hacks. We're giving you insights. We're giving you, like today, a checklist that you can kind of look and help to realign yourself with your most manifesting self. Okay. Number 4. There's a saying I learned a long time ago, which when I really got it, it really shifted the way that I approach manifesting in life. And that is the element in the system that has the most flexibility is the element that controls the system. Let me say that again, okay? Because this is a very powerful one when you get it. Okay, because if you can learn how to be the most flexible element in the system, guess what? You control the system, whatever system that is: relationship, work, career, business. I mean, you the matrix, or whatever that means for you. Here it is again. The element in the system that has the most flexibility is the element that will ultimately control the system. Okay, so let that sink. And we can go into more to details about what that means on Saturday's rabbit hole segment. But essentially, it's about getting the habit of being so flexible in any area of your life that you almost look forward to the next challenge that shows up, because you know that you're flexible enough to deal, handle, and manage and flow through it anyways. It doesn't scare you. Okay. Number 5, and let's go back to that. If you look at what you would consider a great manifestor in any area of life, it's like they defy the odds. It's because they're so flexible. They're not stuck into one way, having to be this or putting barriers on what's possible, what's not. They're super flexible, right? And as Raina says, adaptable in any environment, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right? Number 5, you should always find ways to establish and use simple and effective unconscious tools to allow your vision of your preferred reality to pull you forward with inspired and consistent actions that are in alignment with that vision. And there's 2 pieces to that. Okay, so the first is to look for simple and effective tools. So simple so that you can do it. Effective that we know that it's worked because other people have done it, or you've tried it before and you've gotten the result you want. So, that's the first piece, is simple and effective unconscious tools that we can habit so they become automatic processes. We don't have to work at them, or they're an autopilot. Okay. Second piece is to allow your vision of the preferred reality to pull you forward with consistent and inspired actions. So you're not just, putting all this stuff in your unconscious mind and sitting on the couch and trying to manifest a new car in your driveway. No, it's going to require some consistent actions that are in alignment with that vision. But if you want it to pull you there so it doesn't feel like you're doing anything, it just feels like you're living your life, you're following your passion and doing what you want, what you're here to do. Right? Number 6, seek out, because there are many different, what we call stealth manifestation techniques and tactics. Okay, that can help you to manifest what you want so easily that it will feel like they happened in the blink of an eye. We've already given you some of those in previous live streams. We've done it in masterclass. We got some in master labs, we're putting them in all the time. We've already given you a bunch that you can go and use and practice. But again, the key is, you'll have to go back and start to practice those hacks to see which ones I'm talking about, which ones resonate with you.
Gary, can I add something on that?
Yeah.
Here's the thing that a lot of people miss, is that magic word that Gary said, practice. This is what kind of goes with what I said earlier too, is that, we try, oh, that didn't work, and we're done. And all of this, this is some deep stuff. This is powerful stuff. And it may not work on the first try or whatever, but at the same time, it may have worked. But as Gary said, if you're too rigid on what your expectation is, then you don't see it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, and in our 7-day Art of Designing Your Reality program, we load you up with a complete arsenal that you can use moment by moment to shift, alter, and adjust your reality. Right? It's powerful, right? And for those of you that have taken it, you know that, right? And we've all had all kinds of testimonials on that, right? So number 7 It's also powerful when you can tune into, and Ross talked about this a little earlier, when you can tune into and adjust your body's energy field to match the vibrational frequency of whatever it is you want. Okay? To do this often enough that the habit makes you feel that you actually are a magnet for abundance and can easily repel negative energies from your life.
Exactly.
Okay, so number 8, another super powerful habit that can alter your reality and manifest things at hyper speed, and this is one of my favorite ways to do it, is the ability to ask the right questions that keep you focused on what you want instead of what you don't want. And as simple as that sounds, and maybe you've heard it many different times, I am certain that you would be surprised at how many people, present company included, okay, how many people have unconsciously mastered the skill of asking for what they don't want in life.
Exactly. This should be number 1 and number 15. Doubling up. That's
Right?
so powerful.
So the ability to ask the right questions that keep you focused on what you want instead of what you don't want is a life skill and habit that you should hardwire into your brain.
Gary, you want to give an example of that? It's such a powerful tool.
So if you're in a, we'll use something that someone can, that's tangible, because you can do it in intangible ways, but something's tangible. Someone says that if they've come upon financial hardship, right? The question they tend to have going on, or style of questions or types of questions they have going on in their mind is, why am I always broke? Why don't I have any money? Why is it my paycheck disappears every week? So guess what? You ask those questions, your mind has no choice. Your entire being of who you are has no choice but to seek out an answer for that. It doesn't change the question. It doesn't judge the question. It says, why are you always broke? Well, you're broke because you don't think about how you budget your money. You work at a job where you don't make enough to deal with your means. And so it starts to give you all the reasons why. So it reinforces that, as opposed to, which I believe the intent behind those questions is, as opposed to asking another one that's focused on what you want, is, what can I do to save more money? What can I do to make more money? What can I do to be more money conscious so that I attract more of it naturally, easily, and effortlessly? When you have those set of questions going on in your head, you actually see a different reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's so powerful. So powerful.
It is.
Okay. So number 9. Since we live on a planet with almost 8 billion people, okay, a great habit to develop and master is how you attract the enriching and empowering relationships you need into your life. To work on that habit of being around the right people that support you and the truth of who you are, and that they can hold you accountable to that you can, in a loving way, that can support you and give you direction in a loving way, that you can grow together collectively, and experience things of the abundance that's in our world in enriching ways together, right? So you don't feel like you're alone, or you have to do it on your own. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10. This habit of the masters isn't talked about enough, in my opinion, because the focus of the mastery is usually on that person. But throughout history, those masters were able to establish what I call an unconscious creative council. Okay, so to establish a unconscious creative council means that you somehow, through your life experiences, you develop a set of internal programs. Okay. And I call them an internal creative council because for me, and the way that I teach it, it's having different characteristics, almost personalities that kind of support. So it's a set of internal programs that are based on specific values and philosophies that help them to do the right things at the right times. Okay, and being very clear on what those values and philosophies are. And at the same time, being flexible enough to know that sometimes they need to change, alter, adjust them, as long as they're in alignment with the true, authentic self. Okay, number 11. More of an acceptance than a habit is understanding and owning the fact that you already have the natural ability to manifest things you desire. It's not something you need to learn to do or even have to go out and acquire, because that takes it away from you and disempowers you. Understand that you already have this natural ability to manifest anything and everything you desire. It's just that the programming you set up is giving you what you got right now. So what you need to do is look for or figure out the no risk formulas that you can confidently rely on again and again. And you know, we've given you dozens of these in the hacks over the past episodes. Okay. Number 12. If you can practice and get really good at creating your own inner vision board, so that your unconscious mind is always focused on moving towards the manifestation you want, then you'll be tapping into an invisible and completely underrated power that we all have access to. Right? And I mean, time and time again, you hear about people that are creating, you know, these peak experiences or creating, you know, massive shifts or results in life. They're telling you how it's a clear vision that they have inside, that they see it clearly in their mind, right? It's an inner vision board that keeps them on track. It's not, and with them all the time. It's not temporary. It's not once in a while. It's all the time. Okay. Number 13. To streamline your flow easily into the manifestations you want, make sure that you are in alignment with your authentic self. Okay? And what I mean by that is making sure that you're regularly checking in on the environment is in alignment with that, making sure your behaviors are in alignment with that, making sure your capacity that you explore and expand and grow into is in alignment with that, making sure that your beliefs are in alignment with that, making sure your identity of who you claim yourself to be is in alignment with that, and making sure that you're clear on what that true authentic vision or self is. Okay, and aligning those. And again, we've done 2 or 3 specific streams on that particular topic in the past.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So number 14, always remind yourself, and I say this over and over, and you'll have me say it again in future streams. Always remind yourself that you are greater than any problem or circumstance that life presents to you. Yes, you are always greater than you think you are. So own it, claim it, live it. Number 15. Again, Ross tapped into this because it's such a huge driver. Tap into the power of your emotions and allow them to guide you moment by moment to keep you true to your passions. Okay, so those are the 15 habits. Use these habits as your quote unquote checklist for harnessing and mastering your manifestation skills. You'll be able to grab the graphic. We'll create a graphic recap that we have. It's going to be on the private page. Again, facebook.com/groups/the Infinity Matrix. Answer the questions, pop in. After the stream here, we're done. We'll add that on there. And we'll post it after we're done so you can have access to that with the stream. All right. Then go back over past live streams, catch up on some of the replays, practice the hacks we've been giving you, and also start to add the down the rabbit hole segment to your list of weekend things to do. To come and join us. Just go to go to hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/rabbit hole to register. You'll get the Zoom link sent into your email, and then come and join us Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm posting the link in the chat. And it's an open forum, and it's available for everyone. It's free. There's no charge. It's a great way to come and have some awesome conversation, to ask questions, to participate if you choose to in the conversations, either verbally on camera or either through the chat, or just to come and listen and participate in that way. Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. PST. Also, if you want to get access to the replays I mentioned, all the replays that we've done, we now have them on hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/replays, and I will post that up on the screen here. So hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/replays to get all of the streams, and you can kind of go back and check through all of. There it is, right there. Okay. And enjoy. So that's our stream for today. And you notice that I got a cool little background today. Next month's stream, we're going to start to tap into the Matrix theme of things. So you're going to want to come and join us. We've got some really cool live streams for December planned for you.
We're going to have fun with it.
Yeah, we'll post up the itinerary for it probably tomorrow, and you can see it on our cover images on both the group as well as here. Group and also on the YouTube, right? So and that's our stream for today. Once again, thank you for tuning in and sticking around. We truly appreciate you and look forward to when we can connect next. Till next time, we dare you to be exceptional, implement these hacks, and master the art of designing your reality.
And we'll see you on Saturday on Down the Rabbit Hole.
All right. Be well, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.